I am creating an outdoor succulent garden, and I wanted to share with you all the little goodies that I have purchased or gathered in order to make my garden design a reality. I think so many of us are intrigued with succulents and the way they look because their designs are so intricate, and you just think, wow, that's nature's work at its very finest. I'll be sticking with the basic care principles for succulents as I go through and design my garden. And some of those things are succulents like sunlight. So we ideally want to have a spot picked out that's 4 to 6 hours of sunlight, which I have. So I have my spot ready. The next thing is we want some really good draining soil. Now I technically already have that here just naturally because I live in zone 8A, coastal North Carolina, and I have very sandy soil here. However, everyone has said they have had amazing results with just this potting soil that is made for cacti and succulents. As I'm designing my garden, I want to stay within the best guidelines to care for succulents as I possibly can. So that also means I have to try to check the tags when I'm purchasing plants to make sure that they are cold hardy. I don't want to start investing in succulents and have them live outside just to find out that they cannot tolerate the winter. So in this case, here's a perfect example. I have these sweet hens and chicks. These hens and chicks are called powdered pastry. And I think the reason for that is you can see they are just look fuzzy and delicate, like they have something over the top. It is just so sweet. Powdered pastry is hardy zones 3 through 8. I am in zone 8, so I feel confident since this is good up until zone 3, which is way colder than I am. My hens and chicks are going to do just fine. I have a second variety of hens and chicks here as well. So the style of them is a little bit different. This one does not have as fuzzy of a top as this one does. I am trying them both. Incidentally, hens and chicks are also quite easy to propagate. I hear that other succulents are as well, but since I am not a succulent expert, I haven't really tried to propagate them. However, as I begin this garden, that is one of my goals, to move forward propagating. This little sweetie I added in here so I could have some color in my succulent garden. So this one is called Pumpkin Perfection. As you can see, it has sweet little orange and also like pinkish colored flowers on here. This baby is actually hardy zone 6 through 9. So again, feel very confident about this one doing super well in my succulent garden. Graptopetalum is the kind of succulent that looks like it has rosettes grown right into the leaf patterns. So unfortunately for me, these babies did not come with tags that tell me what their cold hardiness zones are. But Graptopetalum, generally speaking, is a cold hardy succulent. So I'm feeling pretty decent about giving these a try. I found both of these beauties at Walmart for about $7. I thought that was a great price for the size of them. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a shot and definitely keep my fingers crossed for the best. I definitely don't want my succulent garden to be flat and boring. The very last thing I want to do is have all these gorgeous plants with all their intricate detail to just lay flat like a mosaic on the ground. No, I want to have height, dimension, and other elements brought into my succulent garden to add extra interest. Some of the things that I have in mind for that are this gorgeous piece of statuary. Let's call it a globe. I got this at Marshall's. The terracotta colors and design in this piece of statuary I think are just perfect for the vibe that I want for my succulent garden. Also, I have some stones. Now, my succulent garden is not going to be tremendous in size, so I don't need very large boulders, for example, to add into it. For the proportion of my garden, I think rocks around this size are going to be just great for it. I have a fascination with rocks. I love getting them from friends' gardens and anytime people want to share them with me. Like this one in particular, this is a red stone, so I know it came from the mountains of Pennsylvania. I have been looking for somewhere special to put this stone. Don't laugh at me. And I think this succulent garden is just going to be great for it. something else I found. This sweet little terracotta pot. It has an aged look to it, which I just absolutely love. I would like to say that I've been on a journey in many stores looking for pieces like this to add into my succulent garden. I haven't been overly successful, so if you do find something somewhere that you want, just go for it and get it. Maybe don't worry so much about price comparing. You might miss out on the one and only pot that you wished that you had purchased for your garden. Another design element for me. I found this bag of pond pebbles on discount at Lowe's because it had been previously opened. These pebbles, are all earthy colors, which are hard to tell right now because they have the dirt powder kind of on them right now that has to be washed off. But I think having these stones also placed inside my garden is just going to be yet another element that I'm looking for. Lastly, I personally have an abundance of this Stonecrop Sedum. I had only gotten one little piece tucked inside of a pot of another plant that I purchased and totally got this by accident. Well, cut to 3 years later, I have so much of it growing everywhere. I have it in pots, I have it in the ground, I have it everywhere. The color does vary from a really pretty lime-ish colored yellow to a darker green, and it does flower the little yellow flowers on it. So I think that Stonecrop might also be a welcomed addition to my succulent garden, but I want to use that sparingly because I definitely don't want that taking over all of the cool, interesting, more rare specimens. I don't think that starting a succulent garden has to break the bank. I do think that you can be creative in where you get all your pieces and elements that are going to fit together. And also, as gardeners, we know that we can't just create one huge garden overnight and have everything be exactly perfect. Everything is a work in progress, and we have to start somewhere. The purpose of this channel is to share the experiences in growing a garden. So I love to hear any ideas, thoughts, tips that you have about starting an outdoor succulent garden. And as always, happy planting.